The Plotcast Podcast with the Potty Plotters.
Well, here we are then. Well, we're sat outside, aren't we, Julia?
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously
We're not
we've
on
got
the
Gareth.
plot. We're not
No, we're at Gareth's house.
Yeah.
So we ought to explain a little bit. This is for logistical reasons, nothing else. It's purely the fact that after we finish recording, I have to head on the road somewhere, so we said we'd meet here.
Yeah.
And you've had a nightmare getting here, probably, as well.
Yeah,
And we
the
also-
traffic was
yeah.
quite bad, but never mind.
And we also thought it was a good opportunity to nosy at the plants that you've got
Well,
and
okay.
in the greenhouse. So, make use of the time we've got.
Basically, mark it like a school project. You mentioned the greenhouse.
Yeah.
Hold that thought. Keep talking amongst yourselves.
We might as well. So shall we just say that this is season 2, episode 27.
Yeah.
Now then, Julia, and it's lovely to have everybody back with the Potty Plotters podcast. But what I was going to say was, although Gareth always says all about that Instagram and Facebooky thingy, what's it?
Yeah. No, we can do that.
Oh,
No, I
carry
think
on.
we ought to have a go.
No, but what was dead funny, wasn't it, was a couple of days ago somebody actually asked us what our email address was. Now, we have
couldn't
done...
remember it.
No, we have done something like roughly 100 times saying it, and we still got it wrong. So, what does that tell us?
And we were
really?
going com.net.
It's a thing, shall we ring Gareth? That was the end result, wasn't it? And then we said, just put it in Googly thingy
Look,
and it'll all just come up.
We've never claimed to be good at IT or anything, have we? No.
Or memory.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, well, welcome back, Gareth, from the greenhouse.
So I've been over to the greenhouse because I thought, you know how we were complaining the other week about nothing right, Mim?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
It's not big and it's not brave to do that, is it, Gareth? Putting your hand out with your tomatoes on them.
but-
3 of them.
Well, no, there's a couple more, but I thought
right.
I'd just pull 3 up because obviously I don't want to eat all of them in one go. But
All of them.
yeah, all 5 of them. But
Yeah.
this is the result so far this year.
Ah, have you stuck a banana in there?
Yeah, there's more than one banana.
There you go. You see, that's what's done it. Banana.
So we should have a taste test shortly.
Yeah, we will.
We've also
Call
got
me
papers-
Shorty, I'll get you big
Shortly.
ears. Oh, sorry, right,
Not
okay.
shorty. That's shorty.
Right, put them down there then.
Okay.
Put them back on the table. Right then.
You've got
Let's
the
get on with it.
speaking
We're
part,
back to your
Gareth.
speaking. Yeah, get
Yeah.
on with it.
So if you've got any
Listen
questions-
to this, Julia.
Okay.
This
There'll
is
be a test at the
important.
end.
Okay.
So if you've got any questions, then you can get in touch by the social media channels. That's Facebook, Instagram and X at Potty Plotters. You can follow us on TikTok at The Potty Plotters. My wife's just come home, so the cat's just darted across the garden. You can email naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk or check out the website pottyplotters.uk. So what was the email address? You weren't listening, were you?
Pottyplotters.uk.
No, that's the website.
Oh, naughty corner at pottyplotters.uk. Oh, back to school.
Isn't it funny? Yeah. Somebody else just pops up. You know, it's a bit like a pantomime, this, isn't it? We've got birds singing in the background.
Well,
Cats just
last
jumped
week
off,
we had Tom
Julia.
Jones singing. No, we didn't have Tom
No.
Jones. We had somebody else singing in the
Yeah,
background that I
some
managed to
random
remove.
person.
Oh, did you? Some woman want it.
I managed to get rid of it.
Did you?
That's good.
Well, there you go. Anyway, what else, Gareth?
Oh, if you'd like to support us to keep us producing the podcast and to keep us in cakes.
This is nice.
tomatoes.
Look here. See, people can't see this, so I'll just describe a beautiful box of Belgian eclair, chocolate eclairs, Julia.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, this is to celebrate because by the time this goes out, the figure will have increased, but we went over 35k this week, well, 12.5k for this season, so well done, ladies.
Well done
Thank
indeed.
you very
So if you'd like to
much.
keep us in Belgian chocolate eclairs,
Coffee, nice coffee, well trained, Alison. Yeah.
then you can go to Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/thepottyplotters and leave us a tip for Ko-fi and
Cakey. Lovely.
Very clever, isn't it?
Yeah.
I've been thinking about it all day.
Have you?
Yeah.
You need a job.
The Plotcast Podcast with the Potty Plotters.
Right then. The next job.
Yes.
Just looking up, there's a bit of cloud
Now,
up there.
Elaine, you've got
What?
a list of topics that we're
Yeah.
going to discuss.
I have to write it down,
Yeah,
because
no.
if I don't, we'll forget.
No, exactly. But before we even get started,
Yeah.
I wanted to discuss something with you today that's
Okay.
happened on the plot.
Oh, today?
Yes.
Okay.
It's literally today it happened. So we have
This is
had...
today, that's Friday the 26th
Yeah.
of July.
We have had a brief period of sunshine
We have.
and no rain, which has meant that things have started to grow on the allotments. allotment.
They have,
But things have started to grow. Things have started to, we need to be deadheading and taking things for harvesting, and also we need to be watering. And when I got to the plot today, thinking of all the other things I've got in my life and all the other things we do, I felt a little bit overwhelmed. Does that ever happen to you?
I'm taking that as a no.
Oh, right. No, I do. When there's a lot to do, I do have it in my head what I've got to do. But the problem is, as you've just said, when you get to the plot, sometimes, Gareth, you get sidetracked straight away because you think, actually, cucumbers, can I just say, cucumbers?
Yes.
Hang on. Let me get...
Yeah, no, Gareth, we're not interested in yours. No, but we've been growing them and we have grown a huge amount of them, but the plants themselves are just climbing out the greenhouse. So that is something that I never planned on doing today, but I've been snipping, sorting, tying in, and that's a good example that my priority today was watering.
Okay.
So it's sometimes hard to get back on track, isn't it? Is that what you mean?
I think so. I think, it's about when you get there and there's all these things that you face, you've got to kind of prioritise, haven't you? Because you're never going to do everything that you see needs doing. And I think, as we say today, I turned up and I thought, that needs deadheading, that needs harvesting, that needs doing. And of course, priority, especially in the polytunnel greenhouse, had to be watering, because it's about maintaining and growing the plants that you're growing. But also, it was harvesting. I think that was the deadheading has been put back to another day, because that's not priority. But harvesting, what's the point in growing everything if we can't eat it? So it's harvesting it. So, I mean, we've turned up. It's a good job you didn't see us earlier, Gareth, because we were like a pair of murderers, because we had got black currant juice all over our hands and blueberry juice, but they were desperate to be harvested, and we don't want them to go to waste.
And that's the problem, isn't it? So it is about knowing when everything's ready and then taking it. Yeah. Because if you don't, it's just been a waste of time.
Yeah.
So what else was ready today then? So you've mentioned the blackberries and the blueberries.
Yeah.
Cucumbers.
Are you still slipping them in people's handbags?
Yeah. Actually, we went to a talk yesterday.
That was funny.
We went to a talk yesterday. We took a big one, a medium one, and a very tiny one.
And then I can tell you which one was the most popular one.
Well, actually, the most popular one was the one that I got a lot of, because I think I took about 15 altogether for this talk. 15 cucumbers, and just gave them away, because it is proving to be a very successful cucumber year so far, isn't it?
It's funny, isn't it? But we also took flowers as well in the jam jars that we've talked about, and that was really lovely to be able to give them away. But today, I mean, we didn't intend to do what we ended up doing, because Kev needed some help with his raspberries. He's sick, tired and fed up of them, so I thought, well, I'll go and help.
Sorry, there's breaking news. Kev's sick, tired and fed up of something.
So I zipped across and I've done loads of picking of his raspberries.
So jam
then, exactly. And then Julia said, while you're at it, can you just pick some black currants? Oh, my word.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how many pounds I've picked.
Yeah. Now she's got the dilemma: is it actually jam or is it gin? That's the big problem. But
I think I've got enough for both. Yeah.
And then I mean,
I was away with work last weekend, and I was surprised because I stayed at a different place to where I normally stay, and it was a country pub with a converted stable, and the pub was really.
Don't tell me you were born in that stable.
No, I was born in the hospital. But the pub was, because it was really nice weather on the Sunday, the pub was really, really popular, and it got a really nice outdoor area. And in the evening, I had a gin, and I normally would just go for a bog standard plain gin and then let them put the cut citrus fruit in. But I noticed they got a pink grapefruit gin, and I was like, I'm on that. And I can imagine that the fruit gins are going down really, really well when we're having the weather like we've been having for the last few days. And I think it's going to get... We need to get Rob back on again, but I think that might curse it a little bit. But I believe it's going to be holding for the next couple of weeks, the weather. So I think your raspberry gin is a really good idea. I
think raspberry gin, which is Gold Award winning, let me just say, that always goes down a treat.
With the Ashbourne Road Allotments Association Gin Awards.
No. I think it was a wider one than that, actually. But it's worked really well, because then you can also use the raspberries if you've got a dehydrator. They're really nice, actually, Gareth. If you put a dehydrated raspberry in it keeps the flavour. I've done that as well. Might just do that. But there's so many things that you can be picking at this time of year, because you are right. If you don't get it, it goes over and then it's useless.
I mean, I'd got, surprisingly, the French beans, which were looking really sad, and a lot of people have contacted us about the beans looking really yellow and horrible. And actually, this weather and the watering, they've put on new growth, they've come out very green, and they're producing lots and lots of beans. So I've got a whole... portions worth, a good portions worth of
It's
beans.
that problem again, Julia, isn't it? It's a podcast, not the telly. So, when you put your hands together describing it, it's always really helpful to just talk your way through that bit as well.
When I say portion worth, I mean about for a family of 4. So that's what I've taken
if all
just
of them
today.
like beans.
Yeah, if all of them, well, they will like beans. They are going to like beans. It was, but then of course we've got all the flowers that we want to be cutting.
The flowers are fantastic at the minute, and I think it's fair to say we were worried that nothing would work like it did last year, but honestly everything is looking amazing now, isn't it?
It's fair to say our friend Tina Green, she has been down and raided our plots already a couple of times, and will continue.
You could call somebody about that, or just lock the gate.
Yeah.
So
but she
I was
wasn't
kind of
sure up
surprised
till she got in.
Well, this is true. I mean, I was surprised about the flowers, because if you look around, we are sat in the garden. So we've got 2 tubs over there of sweet peas that we've been harvesting off every couple of days.
Yeah.
They smell as soon as you open that door,
it's
actually.
really great. And I sent you 2 a picture. So, Julia, you gave me some sunflowers, of which most of them are here. But this garden, as we've discussed in the past, suffers from from lunchtime it loses the sun, so a lot of mine haven't gone out into bud and haven't flowered yet. But I went to my mum's on Wednesday night, and she's got 3 of the miniature ones.
They're lovely,
and all of them have started to flower now. So I'm surprised. I'm hoping that when we're away for the next couple of days, that actually these take and
I think
start
they will.
too.
I think they will. And at the front of my plot, I mean, I planted a couple of the dwarf sunflowers, but I also, because I'd got this spot where it was always weedy, but I don't want to plant anything permanent in, so I just thought this year I'm going to plant almost a wall of sunflowers
But it looks great.
Yeah, it does. It's really starting to come out, and the birds will love it, but it will just look so jolly when people go around, won't it?
Definitely. So that's something that people can do wherever they are, whether it be a big garden, small garden, in containers, in the allotment, in anything, can't they?
Yeah.
I do like sunflowers. They make people smile, don't they?
Hints and tips for shortcuts to success. The Potty Plotters Plotcast.
Anyway, what are we talking about?
Well, I'll let you get on to your topics.
All right, then I'll get on with my
Your
list.
turn.
Okay. And I wanted to talk about some successes. And I think it's easy, as we've said before, to get miserable because nothing works. It does work. And what we're very successful with were lettuces in hanging baskets. Yes. And why? Because you never see an abseiling slug, or do you? Well, we've never seen one.
I've seen a flying one, but you chucked it across at me. That was
I
not
did,
very
but it didn't
nice,
catch
was
you
it?
though,
No.
did it?
No.
I picked one out your hair before.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah.
But the reason that I'm saying it is because I do think that it works. We could do that. But it actually works. So we put 3 lettuce plants that you'd actually grown, that was Little Gem, and they all went into the hanging basket and worked a treat. Now then, Gareth, in front of me here, I've actually brought... Now, I'll not just shake it in that everybody else can guess what it is. I'll describe it.
Can I guess? Is it a packet of seeds?
It is. And it's mixed salad leaves. Now, the reason that I bought these is because I've never done these before.
Oh,
I know.
Ooh. So this looks like they've started to sell in some of the supermarkets the living salad now.
Is that like cut and come again then that you've just got?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
So,
but all different leaves.
So they do. So there's at least one of the supermarkets I've seen it in where you buy it's like the living pots of herbs and stuff that you buy.
Yeah.
But it's now sold as lettuce leaves, and this looks very similar to that, where it's a mixture of different types of lettuce that in effect you pull the leaves off, and
They
looks
put
like
herbs in there as
it looks
well.
like there's spinach in there as well.
And coriander, all kinds of things.
Oh.
And I'd never seen it before, and I thought, right, well, when the hanging basket with those 3 lettuces have gone, and I like to do...
250 seeds.
Yeah, so there's a lot of lettuce there, isn't there? All
There's
seeds.
enough to choke the entire Castor water ship down there.
Yeah.
And it will keep them busy. But I just thought what we'd do is we'll try them into little containers, because they are the kind of thing when we go out doing our talks, Julia, we can give to people.
For hanging baskets.
Or for whatever they want. Just eat them generally, not just in a hanging basket. But they would look nice in a hanging basket, I thought.
Yes, yeah.
No, you're looking at me gone out.
When we did a bit of training the other day, didn't we? We went out and we taught people how to do the lettuce in the hanging basket. And one lady said to me at the end of the session, I'm really pleased with it, but actually if I put it out, I've only got somewhere to hang it at the front of my house, and my neighbours will think I'm a nutter. Because it's got lettuce in it rather than flowers.
Or they might be immensely jealous and want to know where she got it from.
Exactly. You see, I think because we put nice leaves in those, nice plants, it's the way forward, Julia. What we should be doing is teaching people not to have plants other than edibles in a hanging basket.
That's a good idea. I mean, we've done tomatoes, and you can do cucumbers.
Yeah,
so
it makes sense to me.
I'll do the whole salad.
That's why I just thought we need to keep talking about it. And don't forget, if you wanted to, you could do it in a colander. And then just hang it as a hanging basket. And that cost me 50p. I've done that before. So when I am Minister for Allotments, because I've not given up on that yet.
I've
not.
They seem to be doing quite a lot of other stuff at the moment.
Yeah,
and avoiding the allotment side of things.
We'll come back to it then.
I'm just concerned that they've not got a number.
If they email us, naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk, I'll pass it on to them.
Yeah, because if they were to ask Julia, she wouldn't know how to contact us. And that would be a big deficit.
Contact the Potty Plotters anytime on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram @PottyPlotters, or email naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk.
What about French beans? Because I want to talk about them.
Yeah. Go on then, what about them?
Well, I think that because they've got a growth spurt, I think what we need to do is to reset a lot now as well. Because I've noticed that Martin, plot 1, Kev, plot 2, and also Steve, is he 5 or 7?
He's older than that.
Yeah.
I think he's 5.
Could be.
Because I think Eric and Jackie is...
Anyway, whatever. I just thought it was a little map, really.
Yeah.
A bit like you get when you go to those holiday parks that are very expensive, and we can work out which plot you're talking about. We can actually put it up on screen when you're talking.
Yeah, and then people would know. But I just think, as I've said to Kev today, because I saw him, it's not too late to carry on, and I keep on saying that.
Yeah.
It's still July. Yeah. We've got loads of time to plant more beans, so get on with it.
Yeah.
So he suggested that I do them and he'll have them off me.
Although this is August when this is going out.
Oh, yeah.
But hey.
It doesn't matter.
No.
We still keep going until the end of October.
I think we did do some as late as this. As long as you were doing a dwarf variety rather than a climbing variety, which will take longer to fruit, actually you should be able to get them. And when we talk about French beans, if people don't know what they are, think of them as the green beans that you buy in the supermarket. Some people call them squeaky beans.
But the ones without the little seeds inside them, aren't they? In effect? So they're not the English ones that have got the bean inside them. They are literally just the long pods.
Yeah, although we did grow, didn't we? We grew some Belotti dwarf ones, and you could take them, and they were very much like a French bean, or you leave them to go to seed, and then you can dry them and use them in stews and things. So, and that worked late, and worked well. And I remember we planted those quite late.
Yeah. So. Well, we haven't had much choice. That's the thing, because we've been underwater for so long. Oh, can I say something else?
Oh yeah, go on.
So, well, I've taken photos today, Gareth, because the orchard that has been underwater for I don't know how long.
With ducks.
Yes.
Who thought they'd moved in?
Well, you want to see the apples on those trees. Ooh. Honestly, you'll not believe it.
It was quite interesting, isn't it, Elaine? Because we were saying that the trees that are quite old and established, they seem to have really enjoyed the water, and the fruits that are coming off them are really big and looking really good. But then the younger trees that are probably only 3 or 4 years old, they've actually died.
They don't look good at all. They'll be gone very shortly.
Yeah.
But it's been a revelation, I would say. Amazing, but not as amazing as your blueberry bushes.
No.
I would say I just can't get over them, actually.
No.
How many pounds of blueberries have you picked off there today?
I don't know. Pounds in money, probably about £40 worth.
Yeah.
But I don't know pounds in weight. But
We should try and work that out, actually, on the basis sometimes you talk about how much yield you get, and we could almost do the the scientific equation of how much the bush cost versus how much it's yielding you, about how much it would save you to go out and buy the actual fruit.
It's funny, we were saying that today, weren't we? Because I said, blueberries are quite expensive to buy.
They are.
But the bushes themselves, once you've got them and they're established, then actually they are a bit like the asparagus. They're an investment crop, but eventually they really do pay dividends. Actually, what I'll do when I get home, I will weigh all of those that I've picked off and I'll let you know.
Right, then.
So you're looking at, half a pound in old money, so 250 grams in the supermarket is probably about £3 at the minute. Soft fruit is really expensive this year.
Yeah. Well, actually, soft fruit is one of the things that have done really well on the allotment with the wet weather. Not the things that have sat in the water. So, like Jerry behind me, his raspberries literally just sat in water.
He's suffered really badly, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Because his plot, I remember going past it, and didn't we do something really at the beginning of this season where we did some, probably right at the beginning when we sort of came back, where we looked at some of the plots that were underwater. Yeah. And his was, he virtually got a new river down the side of it.
I mean, the water never went from his plot, so the raspberries literally have sat in water from October through to about March, whereas my blueberries and the black currants that we picked today, although they have had been sitting in water at periods, it's drained off very quickly because they're both a little bit more raised, and that moisture, they've really sucked it up, and the fruit has really swollen up and a lot bigger this year.
Yeah, it looks good.
If you'd like to support the podcast, you can leave us a tip at ko-fi.com/thepottyplotters. That's ko-fi.com/thepottyplotters. And we'll love you forever.
So I have written down picture 3 greenhouses. So I want people now to picture 3 greenhouses rather than Julia.
Are they next door to each other?
No, you've written greenhouse picture from all 3 of us. So what I did was take a picture.
But I keep having to remind you, Julia, that this podcast is not on a picture. That's the thing.
Okay, so you want us to paint a picture. Okay,
well, I can't paint a black cat at night, which is ironic, really, considering she sat on you.
Yeah, well, I can paint a picture and give you a picture, so perhaps Gareth will put it up with all them social media things. And after I said I'd done it, you then went and took pictures of yours.
Of course I did.
Felt left out, didn't you?
Yeah, because I thought, I wonder if Gareth understands it. No, probably not, it's just me, so I'll just do it anyway. So we've taken loads of photos, haven't we?
So paint your picture then.
Well, mine is that, first of all, it's a 10 by 12 curvy greenhouse, and what I've actually done is I've put tomatoes in that one. In the next one, which is a cedar apex greenhouse, which is a lot older, that is cram-packed full of cucumbers. So I'm very fortunate that I can separate my different ones there. But what I wanted to say was, it was something that I saw Julia do with her marigolds that inspired me.
Ooh.
So, yes, what I did
sitting
was...
down?
I know.
Good job. Because Julia always puts marigolds in her polytunnel to keep the creatures out, and also in her greenhouse. So what I've done is I put my snapdragons in there. So the snapdragons all round the feet of the tomatoes are shading the feet of the tomatoes and thus keeping them damp. That's clever of me, isn't it?
Do the snapdragons keep the pests out? Although I have to say the snapdragons will attract the pollinators, because of course the bees love the snapdragons. So, but is there any kind of known predator that will be turned away by your snapdragons?
King George.
Well, shall we just carry on then, Julia? So what are you saying? Tell me all about your greenhouses. Who knows about things like that? I don't know. I'm not a scientific thingy person like Gareth was making out that he is all of a sudden.
When you say I was making out, I've got a calculator upstairs.
Yeah, and the reason
That's one more than us.
And the reason that I put the marigolds down is because they are proven to deter the white fly in the greenhouse. But there you go. Anyway,
I'm not going to say anything like that ever again. No. But you did inspire me to put flowers around the bottom of the tomatoes.
And it does look
lovely.
Are there any flowers that don't work in that scenario?
We'll let you know, because if these don't work, there's going to be hell let loose. But they do look rather nice.
Yeah,
honestly.
they look lovely.
Yeah. Well, we've got a photograph because I've done one. I'll send it you.
And I've got a photograph as well, Elaine, of my greenhouse. And as you know, my greenhouse did sit underwater for quite a while when it flooded every time it came up. And I was really nervous at the start of the season because it flooded while I'd planted the tomatoes. And I was concerned that they wouldn't even get going. But obviously, they struggled initially, but have now really taken off. And they're doing really, really well. And if you can remember, most of the tomatoes I'm growing this year are in the greenhouse. I normally do them in the polytunnel, but I've switched this year and moved the cucumbers into the greenhouse. But I keep into the polytunnel. But I've also kept my big Beefmaster tomatoes in the polytunnel. Oh, they're going very well, thank you.
I can't wait.
Neither can
I like your Beefmaster tomatoes.
Yes, when you come back from wherever you've been, you probably find there's some ready, so that's good. But yeah, in the greenhouse, I've actually done different varieties, one of each different varieties, and it's interesting to see the different growth habits of things. So I know the other week you came into my polytunnel and you said,
was she invited?
No, she just wandered
like that man with the melons.
Yeah, exactly. People just wander in and out, but she wandered in and said, "Oh, that tomato doesn't look very healthy." And I said,
that's the get out.
No,
what's it got to do with you?
I said, I'm not bothered, Elaine, because that is the growth habit. So the leaves were actually very drapey and very long, and they looked like they were kind of almost droopy. But actually, that's the habit of that tomato. So it's interesting to see them all lined up next to one another to see how different they grow. So that actually it's a useful exercise for people to see that sometimes there's nothing to be worried about. It's just the way that plant grows. But they're all producing, they're all turning red, and I'm starting to do a bit of a taste test.
Well, talking of which, Gareth has now been
into
his little tiny greenhouse at the back of us, Gareth.
I think you'll find it's the quality, not the size.
Okay,
so I think so. How many years has this been in now? It's 3 years since we put it in.
3 years.
Probably.
Is
it 3?
When did it go to we? We.
Us?
Yeah, I think it's 3 years it's been in, and ignoring the fact that it's taking longer for stuff to ripen this year, I think this year is probably the best year, and you use me as the benchmark of the thickie that can't do anything. So try these whilst I'm talking. So these are the little plum tomatoes that we've done from the slices. So they're the ones where we've done the same. I think we got them from a well-known supermarket, and they're the first ones off. But we've got 3 of those. We've had, I think, 3 or 4 cucumbers so far, and there's another 2 ready, but I'm not taking them off the plant until we're back on the basis that don't want them to ruin while we're away. A couple of peppers on the pepper plants. There's some chilies ready. Outside of the greenhouse, we've got 2 troughs started at different times of spinach. So
You've done well with that.
Quite a lot off that. So I think we've had 3 or 4 off the first trough, and we've yet to do the first crop off the second one. Got the chard outside, which we've already had a crop off, and it's come back in abundance, so we're ready probably this weekend.
Isn't it, now?
Oh, it's looking really happy. And sneaking in there, where are we now? So set about a month ago is some carrots, which have started, and I know they're the carrot seedlings because they've got the little fronds on, and they're not just looking like weeds as they do when they first germinate. So I know we're going to get something out of that. So I'm going to do another set of carrots, probably in a couple of weeks' time. So I've got a staggered set of carrots, and I'm looking at doing some of your mixed leaves.
You can.
Yeah. Plus we've got the sunflowers, the sweet peas, which have already started to do their little pods, so we've taken those off ready for next year.
Oh, well done.
And I think actually the little market garden that we were envisaging is probably going to sustain us for at least a salad.
Well done. The greenhouse looks a lot happier this year than last year.
I have followed instructions, and I have taken out the side shoots, although it does look a little... I don't know whether I have done something wrong or whether it's just the type of plants, but there was at one point this week where one of them was peering around the door, so I had to put it back in. It's like, you can't escape, sorry. but they do seem a lot happier than they did last year. I'm just wanting them to go right because nobody likes green tomatoes.
One thing that you can be doing now, Gareth, is the top of it, because it is kind of trying to climb out of the greenhouse, the tomatoes. What I would do,
like a climb on the table. What do you want?
What I would do is pinch out the growing tip of the tomatoes, and what that will do is then force all the energy downwards, and the plant will then start to work on your fruit, on the fruits and the flowers. Down the plant. So I think that's the next step for you there. And also you need to deadhead your marigolds.
Notes, Julia. I don't know why he's saying this.
Yeah, he's going, no.
It's just like being a tone.
It is.
No, it's okay because I have somebody who does deadheading. She's sat over there, so she can go and deadhead the marigolds while we're talking.
That's okay.
Just come home from work, leave her.
The Plotcast Podcast with the Potty Plotters.
I did want to talk about the chard and lettuce, though.
Yes.
Because...
You said, can I just say
What?
on here, you've got updates on the chard and lettuce.
Yeah.
Suing chard next week. What's chard done to you?
I
was like,
can't spell or anything like that.
I was like, do I need to bring a lawyer along for this one?
I just thought that next time that we're on the plots, because obviously I don't want to put you under any stress. I mean, the fact that you've bought some eclairs, that's fine. That's lovely, that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll be making things.
Are we cooking
I
next time?
thought that we would.
Sunday lunch.
No, it won't be. Is it a Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, Sunday lunch with chard.
Yeah.
Well, we had chard with the Sunday lunch the other week.
Yeah, no, we can do
Okay.
chard. So you're going to do something with chard on the plot?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Salad. I don't know yet. It'll be a surprise to us all.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's why I thought we'd talk about it. And you've got some. I've got some.
Oh, I've got loads.
Oh, here we go. I've got loads. Yeah.
It's like a competition,
isn't it? Yeah, they always say we're not competitive. Let me tell you, we really are. So that'll be something to look forward to, Julia. So, well, let's get competitive. You make something and I'll make something.
Oh, no. I'm not as good a cook as you. I'll admit that. No,
we will make something, because I think folk are a little bit frightened of chard because it's something that you don't get in the shops. Not everybody knows what to do with it.
It's one of those things that it's relatively difficult to get hold. You can get it in some, but it's only there for like a very short period of time in some of the supermarkets. And I think it's also because it's, in inverted commas, one of those relatively new vegetables for the supermarkets. It's also horrendously expensive in the supermarket.
Gareth, it's because it goes limp.
Yeah.
That's why they won't sell it. Nobody likes anything limp on a shelf, do they?
Nobody likes anything limp. I think we could have put a full stop there. Right then, well, I think that we ought to be different and get preparing for National Allotments Week. Now then, for those of you who've forgotten when it is, and we're just going to remind you, it is the 12th to the 18th of August. And, well, what do we want people to do? Well, Gareth, now that was funny, wasn't it, when we arrived?
Yeah.
Gareth always talks to us like we're interested in this IT stuff.
And like we understand it.
Yeah, so we just normally nod and then look for an escape route so that we can go.
Bad luck, the gate's shut.
Yes, I had actually noticed that earlier on. So, anyway. So what is it that you want people to do? Because let's
go back
voice messages.
Let's take a step back. You said...
You
said last week on the pod, or in the last episode, we'd like people to send in pictures. If you heard that buzzing, it was a bee that went past.
Yeah, amazing.
And hit the microphone. You said last time that you wanted people to send in pictures of their gardens or their plots. And I said, let's go one step further. And if people can, and they're able to record themselves on their phone using one of those voice apps and send it to us, describe what success they've had or what's gone wrong this year, and also include a question. Now, we know that some people struggle with it. So if you want to include your phone number on your message, then I will call you and record you at this end to make it a whole lot easier.
It's the devil when it's us, though, isn't it?
I won't record you. I'll just rock up with some mics. But if you'd like to talk to us and tell us a little bit about what's gone on this year for you, and if you've got a question, then we'll insert them so we have some extra voices in the next episode, you see. A bit like what we did last time, where we followed people around with a microphone and made them speak by basically threatening to cut off their supplies of tea and coffee.
Okay, we can do that again.
But we'd like some of our friends from further afield.
Okay.
So around the country, and some of our friends that listen across the water in other countries. So I'm thinking potentially our friends in the northern hemisphere countries are probably going to be better at the minute because it's the same season. So we've got some of our friends in Canada that listen.
Have we?
Yeah, we've got Canadian friends. I don't know who they are, but we've got Canadian friends. But if you could send us a picture and maybe drop us a note if you can, if not, drop us your number and I will arrange a way of doing it with you where we can talk to you and you can just give us your questions and tell us a little bit about your plot and what's happened to you this year.
Contact the Potty Plotters anytime on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram at Potty Plotters or email naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk.
I'm like a bit stunned that somebody listens to us in... Well,
No, we said Canada, not Australia.
But we do have an Australian contingency. We have people all over the world. If you, looking at the stats, we have people in many, many different countries and we'd like to hear from them. But because of the seasons and how it works, it's probably winter in the southern hemisphere now, so it's probably pointless us picking that up. So the northern hemisphere countries, so people north of the equator.
I don't even know where that is.
It's around the middle of the country, the world.
Is it? So good. You see, everybody keeps doing these things now, don't they? They forget that we're on podcasting. Yeah, anyway. So thanks for circling round there, Gareth, because that's really going to help us all. I didn't like Mr. Carey, really.
He was a geography teacher.
He was, yeah. How funny is that? All I can tell you is that I did learn about kayaks in Borneo. Anyway, on that happy note, thanks for listening, everybody. I think it's time that we went. Although I did want to talk about mealbarrows.
Did you?
Quickly.
Yeah. Oh, all right then. Quickly.
We've got time.
So the mealbarrows, I don't know if you remember, we planted them with little broad beans and they were little Sutton.
Yes.
That was the variety.
Yeah.
And I told people some episodes ago to cut down the broad beans but don't take them out.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to announce that I did that. I cut mine down and they are sprouting from their bottoms.
Lovely.
That's an official term.
Talking about things sprouting from the bottoms, you go on about your red robin tomato.
I go on about, yes. I mention occasionally.
To be fair, yeah.
Yeah, you go on about it. Have you chopped them down this year? Yeah.
It's even taken the tomatoes off. No, haven't you looked in my beautiful greenhouse?
Well, there you go.
Is the answer.
That makes you a liar then, doesn't it?
So this bit where you've got suing the chard, and I should have brought the lawyer along. Maybe we need this one as well.
When we go out and do talk, she always said, well, I grow the red robin tomatoes, and then when my tomatoes are finished, then we move on to Julia's big beef
finished them yet.
But she hasn't started. But what I'm saying is I've already got Beefmaster ready.
Yeah, you have.
So you've gone wrong somewhere.
Yeah, I'll tell you why, Julia, because I'm that kind-hearted woman who made that many greenhouses. What am I saying? I actually grew that many red robin plants this year.
Yeah.
And do you remember what I did?
Gave them away?
Gave nearly all of them away.
Yeah.
Because that's how kind I am.
Yeah.
Anyway, the ones that I got left with.
Yeah.
Obviously.
haven't done a fat lot.
No, they have actually, Gareth. I'll give you a photograph of them because they're looking quite incredible. And I'm not going to go on about my chilies, but they are bright red. And yeah, so quite a lot of successes. You're looking at me like you do not believe me. Well, I've got evidence on my phone, let me tell you.
You can't send it yet, though.
No, I can't. I don't know how that IT stuff. Oh, dear me. Anyway, that's that. What? So shall we go now? So if you have got anything to ask somebody else.
So just find it. If you could send us a picture.
Oh, yeah.
And if you want us to get in touch with you and you're happy to talk to us, then email us naughtycorner@pottyplotters.uk.
Hey, that reminds me, just on the way out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that you said some time ago, Julia, about that lady who had emailed us and said that she went to sleep with us?
Yes.
Well, that's not right.
We
to
sent
say
her
it
to
that
sleep,
way.
us?
Yeah, we send her to sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that started a bit of a ripple. Do you remember that we've just recently had another one?
Someone else said that.
Said exactly the same.
Yeah.
So, Gareth, can you pep this up a bit, please, and make it a bit lively?
I'll put some rave music.
Background music.
I'll put some rave behind
Yeah,
it.
rave.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, that's it. Keep them all awake.
That'll keep them awake, and the neighbours.
That's it then. Well, I'm having a cake now. So, do you want anything else to say, Gareth? Have you got anything else to say?
No, I'm finished.
Is that it? Oh, I thought you got something else to say.
So anyway, you've mentioned it. Next week we're going to be doing some recipes and having a feast or a simple snack off the plot.
That's the chard.
Yeah, can I tell you that when I've gone to the plot without my lunch recently, I've just had a cucumber.
And done what with it?
Well, that's all I've had, a
Fade
cucumber.
it down now, Gareth. I don't know how you do it, but just do it. And the simple recipe is just wash a lettuce leaf. Fade it down, Gareth. That's all you've got to do. We're going. Ta-ra.
The Plotcast podcast with the Potty Plotters is an Amberland Media production.